All right. Hey, welcome everybody to your Friday. You made it. It's Friday, and welcome to the Cyber Sleuth Show. See, I'm trying to say it without messing it up. It's like I could have picked more of a tongue twister than that. But no, I probably could have, but that's what we settled on anyway. And it's funny, I get people that ask me, "Hey, why did you change the name? Wasn't it called a Hubcast before?" Yeah, because nobody knew what a Hubcast was. Now, granted, you guys do because you watch for whatever reason, you hang out. I appreciate it, but the Cyber Sleuth Show kind of makes a little bit more sense, maybe that much more. So there we go. It's all for the Google algorithm, isn't it? Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, I hope everybody's week is going pretty well here. And as we cruise through here, we got a couple of people hanging out with the live one, and I'm hitting buttons to see things. I'm curious where everyone is from. So if you want to put that into chat now, here's the chat that I can see. I'll tell you that right now. So if you're on X with us, X is now doing their live videos a little bit differently. There's a sidebar, a full side chat now on X. You have to type over there, and I can see it. I just can't type back, but I can obviously talk back to you. And then on LinkedIn, I can't see any LinkedIn at all. That's a Microsoft closed API deal. We can't get feedback from LinkedIn. I have to go read those posts later for that. Facebook is where we're also broadcasting. I can see those and reply back to those. So Meta allows that two-way communication. And then obviously YouTube, where our home channel is, we can with full communication back and forth, because I can see obviously all the crazy chats that come in and out. So again, just type where you guys are from. I'm just curious to see where everybody hangs out from on a Friday and kind of ducks out of work a little bit, or at least here in the U.S. So I'm going to move on forward here and talk about our sponsor, which again, it's us. We're finally starting to promote this a little bit more slowly, piece at a time. And it really only pertains to law enforcement. If you're not law enforcement, you can kind of just zone out, I guess, if you want to. But what we've done is we built a internal information sharing platform, essentially, where law enforcement can share information back and forth internally, from investigations down to patrol, to crime analysts, to public information officers. So it looks kind of like a social media app. It's built on the same technology Cyber Social Hub is, believe it or not. But we also have some extra stuff that helps with external communications for the public information officers, which makes things really nice and to manage that. So if you're in law enforcement, or you know somebody in law enforcement, we'd really appreciate if you forwarded this along to them or tell them about it. Say, have you heard about it? And check it out. So let's go over here and check the chats real quick. Oh, one more thing on Blue Line over here is, if you guys have heard of the and I don't know, those of you guys in law enforcement, I'm always torn to even mention the case, because it's such a tragic case that I don't feel right mentioning it all the time. But Athens, Clark County, Georgia, was one of our first clients. We actually designed the platform originally for them in the Lake and Riley case. They've been our client now for about 4 years with this platform, and they used us heavily in that case. And I talked to them, and they said, yeah, there's no way we would have met the speed to solve this case as fast as we did without this technology, because it allowed investigators to quickly communicate with patrol to communicate quickly with one another. Not just communicate. I don't want to say communicate. It's share information. And how I think of it is like, if you're a law enforcement and you could plug yourself into your own department's private little matrix, right? So your brains communicate like really quick back and forth. Everyone has something they're good at. That's what we helped with. So um, police work was phenomenal. We didn't help with that at all. We just helped with the ability for them to make that make their skills in communication with one another and just rock it out. So with that, I'm gonna slide over here to the chats. Let's see where everybody's from. Megan says, "Yay, Friday." Vienna, Virginia. Megan, of course, Ohio. Though you're from Ohio, yeah, you're somewhere else. You're on the somewhere east this week, I think. And then Clearview, Washington. Awesome, awesome. So again, post where you're from. And if you guys want to chat with me or my guest that's getting ready to pop up here, please type right in there. You can see how, wait, it's mirrored. So everything's kind of got the little YouTube symbol on it. So that's where we can see everything coming from too. So there's that. Now, last week, or now it was 2 weeks ago now. Goodness, people did a secret word. We started this new thing. It's like if you watch the podcast or even listen to the podcast, you have a chance to win some prizes. We got all of this swag, and I had my swag bag. Megan, I should have put the picture of it up, some of the stuff, and I didn't. But it's going to be a random piece. I don't really know what it is, but I can show this. We're giving away prizes because number one, I got a new laser machine literally over there where we can make some really cool swag. So here is one of them. I'll kind of hold it up here and see if the camera focus. There it is. So this is one, and then this one happens to just say Blue Line Intel on it. A little glass here, but we have them that says Cyber Social Hub. Here's one with actually some of the black coating I have to put on. It says Nerd Police on it. It still has the black coating. This comes off. It washes right off. I haven't put it through the washer yet. And then Cyber Social Hub. We'll give some of this stuff out. I have, these awesome little keychains right here. It says Forensicator on them. And then I have a ton of these. This is still in the plastic here. People lie, evidence doesn't. And then obviously on the back, Cyber Social Hub stuff. I got a whole bunch of those. Oh, we got new stickers. Hold on. I got to show you the new stickers. Obviously we have our original Cyber Social Hub stickers here. These are the smaller edition, if it goes into focus there. And then of course we have our Blue Line flags that we've given away for a long time. Here is the newest sticker into the, focus on this. Got the Blue Line and the Punisher. If you've seen our challenge coins, we have those as well. A bunch of stuff. But the whole point of this is that we give away a secret word during the podcast. And then all you have to do is go to a website, fill out your information because we got to be able to ship it to you. And we may send you something in the drawing. Now, last time we did this was 2 weeks ago, and I didn't announce this yet. So I apologize for that. Everyone who signed up or even attempted it 2 weeks ago, which was quite a few people, I'm sending you stuff. I'm going to send you some stuff. It may not be the whole package of everything that you just saw, but you're going to get something from us. So just for hanging out with us and going for it. Now, here it is. I can't do the same thing this week because it's going to catch on. Because I just gave it away that it may get something out of here, and I can't do that. So what's going to happen here is we're going to do a drawing from this. And the secret word is obviously right. Hang on, I'm going to get this wrong because anyway, I'm mirrored. It's right below the stinking QR code there. And this should work. I'm hoping the QR code's working okay on this. I did not test it, which is something I should not do. I should probably test it. But it's just Blue Line Intel. That's it. Spaces, no spaces. We don't really check your spelling, all that. Because I think 2 weeks ago, it was PFIC. People spelled PFIC wrong. I know, made me laugh. Anyway, doesn't matter. It was a good attempt. So that's good enough for us in rocket science. So off we go there. So if you head over there, again, I don't have the URL, but if you're listening on Spotify, because obviously we put this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of those things, it will be in the description, the link that you need from this. Now, the catch, I have to throw the catch in there. So this is airing, what is today? I don't even know what today is. Oh, today is Friday, April 4th, right now when we're airing this live. So the Monday, we turn that off. So if you're hearing this sometime today or over the weekend, you still can go and enter for this secret word prize. All right. But if not, if you catch it afterwards, now you have to come to a live event or sometime over the weekend to listen to an event. And then you might get something. There it is. There's the basics. All right. I think I'm done. And I'm sorry. I went longer. I told my guest, hey, it's usually about 5 minutes. It's now officially 11 minutes that I went through. But that's okay. I tend to talk a little bit too much. So I'm going to bring on my guest now, and it is Blessed. and I'm going to push the right button because I just went through all of these from, oops, wrong one, of course. Hey, let's try this one. Hey, there we are. Welcome to the show, my friend. How are you today?
I'm good, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I love the background that you have going there.
No, thank you. I'm a bit of a collector.
Yeah, I am curious though. Where are the other shoes? Are those just the right ones?
Those are the perfect ones.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those are the
Gotcha.
perfect ones.
Yeah,
The
I,
others
I
are
love
stored
it.
away.
Yeah. Yeah. And man, see, yeah, I'd be wearing the shoes. Or I didn't know if you just mix matched them or since you had just like one or the other. Anyway, yeah.
No, they're all
Even,
there. Both pairs.
oh, okay. I can only see one. And Megan says, yeah, nice shoes, top shelf. Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you,
very
Megan.
good. Very good stuff. Anyway, you're with MD5 and I think the product, probably just giving people a little bit of context of what they're known for, is VFC. Is that accurate?
That's correct. That's like you can say the golden goose of the company, but we do provide other e-forensic and disclosure services. So VFC is the main breadwinner, but we're trying to they provide other services as well.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
lot, and I'll show the website here in a little bit, and and I know that you haven't been with them all that long when they kind of, well, we twisted their arms a little bit. Hey, we need somebody to come on the show, and then you kind of like got thrown under the bus, so to get the phrase, I
Yeah,
guess.
I kind of drew the short straw, but it's part of the job description, I believe. So I'm here to show you all the glorious things that we can do as MD5. I've only been with MD5 since December 24, so
Okay.
give or take 4 months now,
Oh, you're an
and
expert
it's
now at this
been
point.
a learning curve. It's been kind of a steep, not but kind of manageable learning curve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're working with a good crew over there, Lindsay
no,
and
they're great.
Jeff.
They're great.
Yeah, no, the great crew over there. They've been hanging out with us for about a little over a year now. Um, so yeah, and like I said, I my goal is to not put you on the spot here because I know this is a live show. The last thing I want to do is, you've been on for 4 months, is torment you too terribly much. But one of my flaws is I'm pretty transparent, so I just say things how it is. Um, so anyone have any questions as we get talking about some of the topics? Please feel free to drop it into the chat here, and I'm going to pop up some of the screens so I can see the number of people. Okay, great. So I'll have that all standing by. I guess the first thing, Blessed, is tell me a little bit about um, your intro into the crazy world of digital forensics. Right? How did you? Um, what's your interest here? How you got started in this wonderful area that we're in?
Okay, so my main my main role within MD5 is to push the sales and push the marketing of the products. So I got this job, I would say 70% based on my sales acumen and sales experience. I previously worked for a company that wasn't in the same industry, but it worked towards the same certification. They're accredited by the same UK body that accredits MD5 for the type of work that they do. So my main entry into MD5 and into the e-forensics world is basically based on my sales acumen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So
That's pretty cool.
ability
Cause
to charm, to charm and make people understand what it is that they were providing them. Yeah, that's the reason.
right, right.
Yeah.
See, you have, and it's funny. A lot of the when I usually ask that to most of my guests when they come on, and it's funny the wide range of responses that we typically hear. Sometimes it's even in my case, it's how did you get started in the tech in this forensic field is like I could turn the computer on to the workstation that they had just bought. So that was my qualifications way back in the oh criminy, it was the 90s
So
at this
sounds
point.
about right.
Yeah, when I got started in it. So it's funny how that works. Well, we're glad to have you in the space. I tell you what, I've never met anyone like horribly bad in this space. They're all just great people willing to help out and answer any questions. And I know obviously you're the same way from our interactions, that are willing to help folks out with VFC and MD5. Um, Obviously, the title of the podcast had to do with virtualization, um, and why would somebody want to do that? Can you talk about a couple of the benefits? Like, I'm an investigator. Why would I want to do that? Why wouldn't I just want to throw it in my forensic software? Go. What's the benefits?
So the main benefits of virtualizing, devices, computers, hard drives, is that in any given scenario where you're obviously running an investigation, you do not want to compromise the evidence that you've collected. So VFC provides users the ability to be able to, in a way, clone that device and then work off of that clone, meaning that the integrity of the original device or hard drive or data is not compromised in any way whatsoever. So going on from that, once you've cloned it, you can now share it with a number of people. And bear in mind, the original data is still untouched. So once you've shared it, um, I think the step that I've missed is the fact that virtualizing a machine means that you're seeing it in the state that the original user would have seen it in.
Yeah.
Say, for example, before VFC, what users or investigators, what they had to put up with was they'll turn up to court with a stack of papers and code to explain, oh, this is the guy you want because ABC, look at this code, look at this page, etc., etc. Now, to the normal person, that makes no sense whatsoever. But once you virtualize the machine, you've actually duplicated it, and everyone knows what a computer looks like. You can now go to their browsing history, say, there you go. They were downloading manuscripts for making, I don't know, dirty bombs or whatever, or they're the culprits. So effectively, virtualizing a machine allows investigators, users to be able to replicate the same environment, like for like.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, and I think a lot of people, examiners, including myself, over the years. Now, granted, I haven't actually done an examination in a long time now, but when I was, we tend to forget that that's an option for us, and we get stuck in it's called multiple things depending on what the angle you're looking at it for. And I'll see if you agree with this. We call it curse of knowledge, at least in the business side of things. It's like when we're talking about something, like if I'm talking to you about, something to do in technology and forensics, then we'll just know what we're talking about because we're going to pass geek terms back and forth.
Yeah,
I call it,
jargon. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I've made up a funny term with it. I call it geekanese, the language of geeks. So, we're going to speak that, but we forget that, um, the, someone who's my mom's age, right, sitting on a jury is going to just look at us with blank stare, like what just happened. It's like
Exactly.
I can barely use Facebook. How am I supposed to know what this person's talking about?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's
So
really where the virtualization takes place. Is that kind of a decent picture of what I just painted there?
100%. Because like I said before, everyone knows how to use Facebook, but not everyone's going to know, tech speak. Not everyone's going to know, oh, that code has been derived from this, so it means this. VFC allows the data to be seen in its original format. So your
Mm.
mom can literally understands what what a web browser is. She knows what Google is. So this is what VFC does. She knows what a folder looks like on a computer. So VFC will allow you to even see everything that's on that computer as it was. So if there are any pictures on there, especially in cases where it's to do with pictures or videos or any crime related to location wise, she'll be able to understand that. Your mom, my
Hmm.
mom, anyone who's used the computer for 5 minutes, they'll be able to understand. Oh, I see what that is. That makes sense. As
Yeah,
opposed
and
to the alternative of just pure code, where all
yeah,
the other tools have fallen short. But that's not to say VFC replaces them, but rather acts as an aid to all these other tools. You know.
100%. It has to
So,
enhance because I am. Well, I mean, just your short interaction with me. I think we've known each other a week now, and it's
yeah,
apparent I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So I need all the help I could get, especially when
it's
I was on a stand trying to explain some of these forensic concepts. It's
yes,
much easier to, like you just pointed out, to show in an environment that everyone's already familiar with. It's like, hey, this is what happened because of this. This
correct.
because
Yes,
of this. A lot easier. Makes people's
and
lives so much better.
much easier. And as well, to add to that as well, it's VFC is also a time saving tool. So you find, let's say, in an instance where you're faced with, for example, there was a case where there were 15 computers that were found, at the crime scene. Using the new portable VFC, you're able to run VFC off of each machine individually and just do a
Really?
quick diagnosis, what we call the triage feature, and see who the laptop belongs to. So if it's a case of we are able to determine, okay, this laptop was not used within this time frame because it tells you in the triage that's brought up by VFC that
Mm.
this laptop was last booted up at this time. This is what was accessed, was a USB used, etc. You name it. So in that case, we were able to save time in terms of what we needed to bring back to the DFU,
Yeah,
and
that makes more
eliminated
sense
other
if you're
laptops as well.
triaging something, quick peek at it, whether you need to bring it in to the lab or not, it actually sees it. Um, no,
Exactly.
I didn't know it did that. That makes awesome sense.
No, it does.
It's going to
Yes,
save a lot of time for sure.
100%.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
It even shows you what each individual user accessed if it's a laptop that's used by more than one user. So it will tell you everything. Every user will have a different account, of course, and it will just show
Hmm.
you what they accessed at any given time.
Hmm. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Now, I know you had mentioned this in the beginning, but I wanted to visit it again about the essentially the sandbox type environment. And a lot
Yes.
of examiners are always kind of hesitant to run it, anything, but you're actually creating a nice, safe sandbox. You're not touching the original information or not altering the original information to the
Yes.
point where
Forensically sound. Yeah.
all the hashes and Megan, I see your chat up there that hex is forensics, but the hashes are in hex, believe it or not. And so she's like, she thinks of color codes. You can tell she has a marketing background and not the forensic background. um, but and that's what I know. A lot of examiners are hesitant because of that, and then that's just not the case. It's safe. You're fine, right?
Very safe because, like I said, you've actually made a copy of the original. So in that sandbox environment, whatever changes you make to that data do not apply to the original data. So we can go as far as to say create a standalone copy that's independent of the original data. So the
Hmm.
standalone copies have been used in courtroom cases whereby you actually go there and you open up the computer as it was without the original data, but because you've made that sandbox environment. So you're playing around with it and seeing what was done, the history, the files on there, you name it, jump lists. I don't know if that everyone's familiar with what jump lists are, but I wasn't, especially when I joined. But I knew when you know what something is, but you don't know what it's called. That's what I had to. I got familiar with jump lists when I joined MD5. So you can get access to jump lists as well. So VFC is very, very thorough and very effective. I just want to say one more thing as well in terms of like
Yeah.
going back to triage. You would expect that triaging a system or booting up a system to see what has happened on that laptop would take hours. With VFC, it takes a couple of minutes.
Really? That fast,
If it
huh?
takes if it takes 5 minutes, that's too long.
Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That'll
So once
save
you
so
virtualize
much
the
time.
machine, yeah, before you even virtualize the machine, it gives you the ability to triage it. So that takes a couple of minutes. Booting up the system, virtual machine, that's probably about 5 minutes.
Wow.
So
Wow,
very
that's really
effective,
good.
very fast.
Yeah, heck yeah. And I'm curious to those that are kind of tuning in, or if you're watching this later on in the recording post, essentially, um, uh, leave something in the comments, or those of you there now, put something in the chat. If you're currently virtualizing, if you're not, why? I'm just curious because, you know, I should have done it more than what I did. I'll admit. We did do some virtualization in the lab back in the day, but you know, it made life so much easier. And I can think explaining, because I don't know how many, well, I said, how many people that you run into that have, like, in law enforcement. Obviously, that's where I can speak from, because that's where I came from. Was my supervisor, one of them, not all of them, um, was not techie at all. He was an
Right.
investigator. Even the detectives, or the actual investigators who we were doing this for, and you know, part of my stint, and I'm going to preface this ahead of time, so no, I don't get any hate emails, that I was in narcotics, and they're not known for being the brightest bunch in the bulb. And then I was on SWAT on top of that, so it takes my IQ down to here. I'm just saying,
Oh,
if they could break something or not necessarily understand it, we were the ones doing it, and I needed to explain these complex pieces of information to other investigators that weren't tech, especially my supervisors as well. This is a huge thing for them to be able to do that relatively easily. So I use the example of my mom, but now let's put it to applicable use to other investigators. That's really where this thing will rock out, where they can understand it a little bit better.
100%. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, the remit of my job is to follow up with all users of VFC. And as you just said, rightly said, law enforcement is a large portion of our clientele. When I do speak to them, it's rarely do I ever get any any negative feedback. Maybe if someone's doing something wrong, they clicked a wrong button somewhere, hence why I'm required, because I now and again I'll go in and do a demonstration and just refresh them on what VFC can do, because we always release soft updates now and again from time to time.
Mm.
At the moment we're on version 7. An update was released in January, so now and again when they're not too well versed with the software itself, just the wrong button clicked, then that's when they report some issues. But however, 9 out of 10 times people have all the best things to say.
That's not my
Oh, sorry,
sound effect. That's all you.
that's my 7:30 alarm. Apologize.
Oh, that's right. Yo, you're in the UK. Yeah, yeah, right. So I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
are in the UK.
if you saw, I may have jerked my hands back a little bit from my control panel, because I was like, did I hit an alarm? Because I got all kinds of
But
fun. See, I got noises, and that was all you, not me.
someone's won a prize.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just to go back. So 9 out of 10 times they literally just have all the best things to say in terms of like, VFC, it's effective, it does what it does, and
Mm.
it's so easy to use. And the fact that it's it's easy to use makes it such a joy to be using on a daily basis, because most people, that's literally their job. Their 9 to 5 is they go into the office and they're virtualizing stuff for
Mm.
cases. And then, like I said, most people, they use it 50-50 because they're relying on other tools. But however, it's effective and it's easy. Like it
Yeah.
makes Oh, it takes the complexity out of it. You know, when I first joined MD5, I was blown away because initially because MD5 they've been running for 17 years now. And when they first went into development of VFC, my understanding is that to virtualize a machine would take hours. But now, like I said, it's 5 minutes. You've
That's
got
awesome.
I've got Kevin's laptop. I know what Kevin's got in his folders.
That's
You know,
scary.
it's
You don't want to see what's in my folders.
just stay on the right side of the law.
Yeah, we got you. No, I'm good there. Good there. But
So it's effective and powerful.
yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely, it is. And we're gonna dive into this just a little bit, but I noticed Joe Lopez had said that they had done some virtualization in the past. Is this the same Joe that I know? I was just curious here because I can never tell. It's just a name that. Anyway, I'm just curious. I won't put it up on the screen if you know me, but you can throw it in the chat. Um, so there's also you have some different ways, right? You had mentioned that, which I wasn't aware of, kind of the triage, right? Um, if you have on scene, right?
Yes.
What other ways can you virtualize? Because back in the day, again, I keep saying that it was a, and you already mentioned this, you already alluded to it, it was a pain in the rear to virtualize anything.
Yes.
I was creating an image, then trying to explode back to a hard drive, and I was stomping all over that copy, changing stuff, and it's just easy now. But what are those ways that now that an examiner maybe who's thinking about this can do this?
Okay, so there's three main ways to in which VFC works.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one is that you run it from like you just mentioned, from an image. And the second one is you run a hard drive from a write block device, or you run a computer through sorry, a write block device. So meaning
Mm-hmm.
that it's all forensically sound. So it's only one way. Information only goes one way. There are no changes that will be made to the original data. So that's what a write blocking device does. So the third way is what I previously mentioned with the when you're using the portable version of VFC, which is pretty much a dongle that you take on site, plug it into the machine, the desired machine. You boot up
Mm-hmm.
from the USB rather than booting up from the actual hard drive of the
Ah,
system.
okay, I see.
And yeah, once you've booted up from the USB, you're now in a virtual environment. You're already in a virtual environment. Now you mount the hard drive off that device so that it's now forensically sound. So no changes once again can be made to the machine that you're on. So hence why you can now be able to determine whether that laptop was used when it was last used and the rest of it. So obviously, if it's your laptop that you want to use in a case, you want to take it to court, you want to actually investigate it, no one can then say, no, but you guys turned it on when you're on the scene. It's crime scene. How do I know you didn't make those changes? It's the fact that you're right blocking everything. You're protecting it's forensically sound from the point of contact. So those are the three ways that VFC works.
Yeah, and you could now let me ask you this: how hard is it to actually train someone who doesn't have forensic background to utilize like the dongle? Or I'm guessing it's a USB stick since you're booting up from it. How hard is
Yes.
it to teach someone to do that?
Not very. I think that the only for me when I was shown, it made sense instantly. I mean, my IT acumen goes as far back as to just what did I do? I did database systems
Hmm.
in uni, for my undergraduate. Nothing heavy. It was a watered down version of computer science. So the technicalities of computers, I don't really know. It's what I've learned as I've grown up. But once I was shown how to run from BIOS, because you just have to force start the computer to just open up from
Right.
BIOS. And once you get that in your head and you just set it so that it runs from USB, that's it. You're
Okay.
using it's normal. The the portable VFC actually just creates you're in a Windows environment.
Yeah.
And then on that environment, you've got the VFC software on the USB. So now once you're in that US in that mode, you can now actually inject your own investigation files onto VFC, onto that machine.
Got you. Got you. And
So
that's
it's all very
important. Yeah.
straightforward.
Because I don't know how many times I was called to scene. Now, obviously, times have changed a little bit. People are a little bit more aware that this happens. But I'd get called out to a residential search warrant or something like that, where sure enough, as soon as I would get there, investigators were already going through the computer system. No VFC. They were just like, "Oh, what did this person do?" And they're opening up email. And I'm going like, "Oh
Ordering
no."
dominoes for themselves.
Yeah, just the pain, the soul leaves my body as I see this happening. I'm like, no. But this is something they could do, um, you know, with not much skill set required, where they're still keeping the integrity of the data. That's needed, and that's what people forget. I guess mistakes happen. As long as you can explain yourself, but man, you're hurting. You're walking on your evidence, and hopefully you'll fly by it. But with that portable stick that you're talking about, that's going to make lives a lot easier. Yeah.
Very, very easy in terms of just saving time, saving resources. Because you can imagine, I know you can attest to this. The amount of backlogs that you have in DFUs for mounted up laptops or
Mm,
computers, you name it,
yeah.
because you don't know what's what. But when you're triaging things on site, you're eliminating a lot of unnecessary evidence.
Yeah. Now,
So
and this is something I don't know. Um, you said it was Windows based. Is Windows kind of what we're limited to there, or can we see other operating systems? Do you have that information?
sorry, just ask me that again.
With other operating systems, say like I'm running, well, I'm going to give you the most challenging one, probably Mac or Linux, or anything like that. Are we limited to the Windows based environments with VFC, or do you know if it'll handle the other operating systems out there?
Right. So it's Windows for the time being.
Okay, perfect.
There are a lot of challenges when it comes to uh, Mac. Linux, I do remember just going through an old hard drive that was running Linux, but I don't know as far as to say if they're still sort of like keeping up with all the latest softwares of Linux at the moment.
Yeah.
I have booted up a virtualized machine of Linux, an image
Mm-hmm.
when I first joined the company, when I was rummaging through all the hard drives and trying to understand how VFC works. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but I can 100% say at the moment with Windows we're up to, don't take my word for it, but I'm sure we're up to 10, if not 11 for Windows.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not a Windows user, so I don't know what the latest one even is. That's sad to say, but it makes sense because Windows is kind of the most popular operating system out there
Yes.
on computer systems. So it does make sense. So Sam, you don't know Sam. I'll tell you a story. I'll wait till I'm offline so Sam doesn't hear me talking about him. Kidding, Sam. I'm kidding. Um, so he mentions that in the Bin Laden computer, and I remember him actually telling this story. It's been a number of years ago, Sam, that you told me this story, but you can actually see the artifacts and being booted up multiple times after Bin Laden was already dead. So it's like, oops, somebody was walking on that evidence or changing some date and timestamps in that
Right.
mess. And had that investigator had this tool, problem solved. Well, assuming they're
Problem
going to use
solved.
it, that is, but we can't force them.
Yeah, it's true.
But
I just want
yeah.
to jump on that jump in on that what Sam just said there. So one of the scenarios that I've seen when I was reading up and from my predecessor's notes is that there was a case where a computer was brought in, or it was a laptop, it was brought in to MD5, and when it was opened up, it seemed, yeah, it appeared, well, it had the latest software on there, Windows
Hmm.
software. However, a using VFC, it was restored to an earlier point in terms of,
Ah, okay.
and then they
Wow.
realized that on in the earlier point, it actually had older Windows operating system on it, and then they were able to see folders and evidence of terrorist activity.
Oh, that's
And
curious. I wonder if that was done through a restore point. That's interesting. Yeah.
yes, it was done through a restore point, obviously
Okay.
with the assistance of VFC. That's correct.
Yeah. Oh, that is phenomenal. That's
Yeah,
actually kind of crazy that that could be done in a virtualized environment,
yeah.
which is cool. Because I mean, some of the use cases for this, you know, especially with the triage part of it, you can get usernames. What else? What else could be potentially used in the triage environment just to see if you need to take that system into the lab for further analysis or not?
So try.
Like,
So
let me throw it.
you can see links that have been accessed. You can see
Huh?
if USBs have been used on that machine. And importantly, once you identify that a USB was used, there can be a
Mm,
case where if that same USB is has been acquired in evidence, you can now actually mount it and boot it up in the VM as well. So you've got
really?
the yes, you've got the complete package of what the user was accessing. So as long as you can see, okay, they accessed this USB, and you identify that USB, you can now boot it up as well and
No kidding.
go
So you
through
could bring
trying
it
to.
into your already virtualized environment
Yes,
where it's
you can,
safe. Oh, now,
and
see, now you're
it's
messing with my
forensically
brain.
sound.
So there's a VM, and then you're bringing in other virtualized items. Okay, I get it. I'm tracking with it. Like I said, I'm not
Yeah.
the
So
brightest guy out
browsing
there.
history, you can see that uh, document list, installed
Hmm.
software as well. So someone could have
Oh
installed
yeah,
something and taken it off, but you can now see that as well. And you can see when it was installed. You can see when it was uninstalled. You can see if there was a software update, all the rest of it.
yeah. And I can see. I'm gonna play kind of the devil's advocate. I'll play the opposite side. If I'm an advanced, which I'm not, forensic examiner, I'm just going to use my other tools, right? And they're not. It's
Yes,
not designed to replace those. It's designed for, I think, what you just said, like quick triage plus the court side
virtual.
of things too, or being able to explain
Explain and
how,
explore.
yeah, how that suspect saw the machine, right? I mean, it's different from, I don't know. Let me think of something like a desktop environment, right? If you're dealing with, I don't know, terrorists of some type, right? And maybe they have some incriminating desktop with their icons all positioned a certain way. I don't know. I'm just thinking of some weird thing. You would never see how the icons are positioned in a forensic exam, right? The only way to really
In a
see that
coded, yeah, yeah, that's true.
has to be in a virtualized environment, right? Um,
Yes, you can. In a
yeah.
virtualized environment, you can see all of that. Is there's the benefit. You can see images that they had, and it's very impactful once it's in a courtroom situation, isn't it? All you have to do is actually open up, and then if the desktop has got some propaganda or type of imagery, then case shut. Open and cut and shut case, Johnson. So,
Right? Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to
so
take a small break here for a second, and I'm going to bring up, oops, hold on. Let me make sure I get this right. I'm going to bring up the website. It's just going to move us down. I'm really just like wanting to see our fancy graphics, how everything move around here. But this is the website, right? It's just
that's right. Yes,
md5.uk.com. And
that's
for those of you who are interested and want to see anything, I don't want to do a commercial on this, but this is going to help someone out there that is going to be curious. You can go in here and check it out. Now, what I just saw um, is this little gem here. This is all the kind of the case studies. I think it's probably some of the ones that you were maybe talking about in here. That if somebody want to see like, hey, how was it used? What are some of the other things they could do? Like I see a Brave browser one here, which is interesting.
That was an
But if you're
interesting one.
curious,
Yes.
go here. They
Sorry to
can
cut you
just
off there.
no, no, go ahead. I know there's a small delay even between you and I because you're clear over
Okay.
across
Okay.
the pond, so to speak.
Very true. It's a lot of miles, isn't it, in
Yeah,
between?
yeah, yeah. And the
I
way
was, I was,
it's fun. It's funny the way this software works is it's not like when we do like a Zoom call or a Google Meet or something like that. You're actually connecting to me directly to my Mac, and that's why you see it as a browser, and I see it as this. It's a control center for me. It's really bizarro looking, and then the delay back and forth is different. And then by the time we go out to YouTube, another 15 seconds has passed. So you, my friend, and me are living in the future a little bit. So just so you know.
we are here. We are here.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Anyway, case studies, there's a lot of them that people can go and see here. Yeah.
Correct. I just wanted to just highlight the Brave browser one that you mentioned, because basically I just want to highlight the power of VFC. So most forensic softwares are not able to retrieve all the things that I've mentioned. So you know
Mm-hmm.
how on Windows, or you don't use Windows, so I'll excuse you. On Windows, you can have notes. You can have sticky notes on Windows on your desktop,
Right.
and you can write notes on there.
Yep.
VFC has got the power to even retrieve sticky notes. As I mentioned, it can retrieve jump
Mm.
lists, and you can bypass passwords, but you can also reset passwords. So in the example where you reset a password, once you're in the the virtual machine and you're now browsing, you go on the web browser. You're not, bear in mind, you're in a sandbox environment, so you're not connected to the internet. So let's say you enter the password that you've created and you're in a browser. It then shows you, it can actually open up accounts. So in this case of this Brave browser one,
Mm-hmm.
crypto information was able to be accessed on the Brave browser. And for those, I'm
Interesting.
sure you know, but for those in the know, Brave browser is meant to be supposedly one of the a secure website. So it's not easily retrievable, but VFC is able to retrieve Brave browser. And on top of that, you can
Oh,
even
that's interesting.
access things that the previous user was using.
Hmm.
So crypto wallets were opened, although obviously no information was seen. Not too much information was seen, but you could see, track, and see that they had crypto information. You know, so in cases like this, it's important in terms of like being able to deliver a case. You know, in terms of like this critical evidence.
Yeah. No, that's actually really good information. I haven't even considered something like that. So no, that's great. Hey, real quick, also, I got to push one of my new buttons. There you go. So there you go. So I like my new little button down there. So if you guys
Okay.
are not subscribed to the channel, if you want to hear more awesome stuff, just like this topic that Blessed was nice enough to come on here, and it's your evening, Friday evening, no less, like you have nothing better to do on a Friday evening but hang out with us here in the US. Um, then you get alerted. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell every time we go live. You'll get an alert, and then also you can see whenever we schedule a new live, you'll be able to get that information too. And it helps really with the algorithm of our mission at Cyber Social Hub is to just share knowledge. Because oh crime, and you can't know it all, and I definitely don't. I learned so much new in just this talk that you and I have had here, especially with the triage stuff. I hadn't considered that, and it's important to share that information. So with that too, and I know I don't know if you're in Cyber Social Hub yet as of now, but we're gonna fix that. We'll get you in there. Is if you're listening to this right now and you're not a member of the hub, make sure you come in and join because it's conversations just like this that you may not have considered. It's like, hey, how do I get this or this out of a Brave browser? And then Blessed could answer you right back instantly and say, hey, this is how you would do it through VSC. So it's really designed to help examiners and investigators share and get that type of information. So again, shameless plug here at cybersocialhub.com to get it out there. So again, thank you for that quick pause there. I wanted to make sure I got that in. I told Megan, it's like, hey, I always forget to tell people to join, and I got to do that and make sure it gets done. So there, now it's done. So thank you for that.
Good.
So what?
Yeah.
People are always a little curious. What part of the UK are you in?
So we are, well, myself, I live in South Yorkshire, but I work, MD5 is based in is West Yorkshire. I mean, I live in Doncaster.
Okay. Okay. I'm trying to
It's
picture that is in my head. I'm geographically impaired here in my own state, much
it's
less
just above
country.
the Midlands area.
Okay.
So we're like kind of in the heart of the UK there.
Okay. So is that the area that it's constantly gray and gloomy, or is that more south?
Um, it's we're close to the gloomy area. Yeah, yeah. I would
Yeah.
say Manchester's more gloomier, but it's England. It's all gloomy. But I would
No, I
say
get
though,
it.
today was a beautiful day. I think we experienced 19 degrees at one point.
Okay.
But sorry,
Okay.
I
Wow.
know you guys operate in Fahrenheit. I don't know Fahrenheit. So Fahrenheit probably it's 60. I don't know. I'm guessing.
I'm doing the conversion now because I don't
Please
know. And you
do.
said it was 19?
19
Yeah,
degrees
60,
Celsius.
66 degrees. So that's really nice Fahrenheit wise. Holy moly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Because right
great.
now it's 52 here. It's actually pretty warm right now here in
It's
northern
very warm.
Ohio. So I'll do the conversion back for you. 11. There you go. So now you have it back.
Okay. Okay.
I should always put that screen up. Yeah. Just
Temperature
just to
wise.
have the
Yeah. Yeah.
conversions. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, if someone's interested, do you guys have trials? Do you have like demos that you can give people if someone watching right now or down in the future are interested in this kind of technology? Is it how do they go about getting a hold of you or seeing it? What kind of steps should they take?
Okay. Yeah. So definitely we do provide demos, and that's my main job, to be honest, with regards
Ah,
to VFC. Yes. So I believe it is sales at md5.uk.com.
okay. I'm gonna do
Yes.
this contact us and see if it's down here. I don't think it is on there. But yeah, it looks like you can head over to the website too. But sales at
Yes.
md5.uk.com.
md5uk.com.
Okay, there's a few dots.
.uk.com.
So
Yes.
I'll
Yeah.
put this into the show notes, wherever you're watching or listening to this. I'll put it down in the show notes somewhere. You should be able to find that, so you can get a hold of Blessed and uh, and get that demo and take a look at it because there's so many. I mean, so many practical uses. And I looked at the time, and obviously, when I start planning for like the podcast, the goal is to get at least 30 minutes out
Mm.
of a podcast, and it's 54 minutes in as of right now. Can you believe it went by that fast?
I can't believe it, to be honest with you, because I was slightly nervous. I
I know
don't know
you
if
and
you
I
can
had
tell.
talked. Yeah. I told you it was easy. Everybody who watches regularly knows that we don't take ourselves too seriously. You can't in this industry. If you don't mind, I'll tell the story a little bit.
Sure.
Blessed, that since you're fairly new with the company, obviously, and then coming on a podcast. Well, it's never fun coming with on all your peers anyway, right? You're always worried that it's like, oh, I don't want to misspeak or say something wrong. And here, everybody generally they're usually focused on making fun of me anyway, so you're always safe here. Number one, but it's really here just to help each other out. You never have to worry about it. It's the best industry ever to be
It's
involved
great.
in.
It's great.
So if you guys ever make it to a US based show, which I don't know if you come to too many of them, but if you ever do, make sure you come find us and say hi because we're generally at some of the US shows. Um, so yeah, be sure to do that. But it was funny when I was trying to reassure Blessed that, hey, that I'm not going to kind of twist your arm and some of the questions, or pick your brain full of knowledge and things like that. It's just casual conversation of
Casual.
how technology helps law enforcement, and we don't get down too far in the weeds here, but we talk about the concepts, and that's really what the main thing is like give somebody some that extra little bit of information they may not have had before. And I think you definitely succeeded with me. I didn't know some of this before, so I think you did a great
Well,
job. Yeah.
I'm happy I've imparted some knowledge to the to yourself with all your experience.
Yeah, well, again, I it's not a high bar for me personally because I wasn't the brightest one in there. So, but no, you did. That was really good, and now I'm going to actually dig down into VFC a little bit more myself
No, thank you.
personally, and read the website. So again, if you guys want to check out the software, or you're a little bit more curious about it, you can definitely go to md5.uk.com. Check everything out. If you have a question, I am going to get Blessed into Cyber Social Hub, where you can just find him in the hub if you got a question, and you can ask him directly there too, because he'll get a direct message. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to sign up. So we'll go from there. I think Lindsay might be in there already too, though. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
believe
if
she
she
is.
kind of
Yes.
around in there as well. So, hey, sir, thank you so much. Don't go anywhere yet. Number one, I want to say I appreciate you taking the time, especially I always forget the time difference. Um, and you take your time in the evenings to come and do this. So much appreciated to share your knowledge and information with us. So thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I'll be here next week.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Everyone else, thanks so much for hanging out with us again. It was Friday, and you're almost through the Friday here in the U.S. Well, at least East Coast, we're at 3, creeping up on 3 o'clock p.m. California, yeah, you're at lunch. It's the way it works. And then Hawaii and Alaska, it's even worse. So it is what it is. Sam, though, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Um, make sure you guys visit the hub, join up. Don't forget, secret word, what it was. I forgot already. Blue line Intel. So go check it out. We'll put the link down below. If you're listening that way, you can still hit the link from this as well. So again, till next week, we'll talk to you guys later. Again, Blessed, thank you very much. It's much appreciated.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.